going to a tomb at early morning, and they were prepared with spices to administer to the body of Jesus, who they expected to be in that tomb. And they found that tomb empty. And they were struck with fear. They were struck with wonder. They were struck with anxiety at the Lord's body being gone. And then two men in bright, radiant clothes appeared. And they said to them, "Why are you looking for the dead? He is alive, as he told you he would be. Don't you remember back in Galilee he had said that he would be handed over to sinners and killed and buried and 3 days rise again? He is not here. He is alive." The story of Easter. The women then went back and told the disciples, who were so amazed, perhaps so astonished, that they themselves were filled with fear and could not believe. They could not believe what the Lord had told them directly as well. And so they sat stunned. Peter, of all people, ran to the tomb and did find it, as the women had said, empty. And he knew that the Lord's promises were true. But what difference does it make? What difference does Easter make in the world? What difference does Easter make in our lives? And I think that's really the crux of it for us, is to ask ourselves that question today. What does it matter that Jesus is risen? Well, I know for me that it starts here at the entranceway to the church or our baptismal font. As baptized people, as those who are claimed by Christ, like him, we have if we have a baptism like his, we have a death like his. And if we have a death like his, we have a resurrection like his. In our baptisms, Christ has claimed us. Therefore, we are not dead. We are alive, and we can declare the good news of God in all we say and in all we do. And so, as I was thinking about this and thinking about what difference does it make, I started to think of other early mornings that I've experienced. And for me, I remember a couple of good ones, because I am not an early riser per se, but a couple of good early mornings would be when I'd get up early with my family to watch the sunrise. And the difference that it made, the exhilaration that it made to see the start of something new, the start of a new day. And that's what Easter has become for me. But even more so, what Easter has become for me, I hope it becomes for you. Because, again, you were baptized into Christ Jesus. You were baptized, therefore, into his death. And you are alive again in him. And the waters that have claimed us and revived us and cleaned us, they're not still waters. They are waters that ripple. And that's what Easter calls us to be about, as we gather again and again to hear this story. We are to be like those waters of baptism, the rippling waters of baptism, sharing, going out, telling the story. The reverberations and the echoes of Easter continue to this day, 2,000 plus years later. I mean, I think when you first think about it, the fear and the darkness that had been surrounding the women and those early disciples, they overcame it. And they were able to go out and share the good news that he is not there. He is risen. And because he is risen, you are alive. And he is alive in you and in all of us together. We make up his body. And so as we go out today, I really want to encourage you to consider how you are going to continue to be a ripple, a reverberation, an echo of the resurrection. And I share one and invite you to take one or one to share, a resurrection rock. The rock had been rolled away and it keeps on rolling and reverberating and rippling like when you skip a rock on those waters, perhaps of baptism. But remember in that rock that you are claimed by Christ, marked with the cross of Christ forever, and you are called to go out and share with all you meet the love of God in word, in deed, and in all things. Amen.